YouTuber Jianing's family of 4 indicted for data tampering, tax evasion. Taiwan opens market to Belizean shrimp. Taiwan pushes $300 billion investment for U.S. tariff deal. Powerful earthquake off Russia triggers tsunami. UK to recognize Palestinian state unless Israel agrees to ceasefire. China unveils childcare subsidies in push to boost fertility. Google admit failure to warn 10 million of Turkey earthquake. U.S. Grammy winner Ciara becomes citizen of Benin under law.
Hello, I'm Jasmine. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Thursday, July 31st, World Ranger Day, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan news, Taiwanese YouTubers Andy and Jianing are in a legal dispute after their breakup, involving embezzlement, breach of trust, and tax evasion. Jianing's mother was indicted, and Jianing faces charges for unauthorized access. Her parents' assets worth over $10 million were seized. Starting July 30th, Taiwan will fully open its market to frozen white striped and other seafood from Belize. The move reflects growing Taiwan-Belize trade ties under the 2022 ECA and supports mutual prosperity through zero tariffs and expanded imports. Facing the U.S. tariff deadline, Taiwan and the U.S. are in final talks. Taiwan proposes $300 to $400 billion in U.S. investments to secure a 15% preferential tariff rate like Japan. Vice Premier Chen remains in Washington, ready for changes, while Taiwan prepares industry support amid high market attention. And in global news, the entire state of Hawaii has been placed under a tsunami warning after a powerful 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck east of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, and a tsunami wave of more than a foot was observed in Japan. The U.S. Tsunami Warning Center said the earthquake occurred at around 11:25 a.m. local time on Wednesday. The quake sent a tsunami wave into Russia's Kuril Islands into the Pacific, where the governor said residents were safe.
The largest waves so far, measuring almost 24 inches each, arrived on the Japanese islands of Honshu and Hokkaido shortly after 1 p.m. local time, following smaller waves of about 12, 16, and 20 inches. No deaths or major damage have been reported so far. In Hawaii, people were told to leave low-lying coastal areas. The Tsunami Warning Center said the first tsunami waves were expected to reach the state at 7:17 p.m. local time. Waves of 1 to 3 meters above tide level were possible along some coastal areas of Hawaii, Chile, Japan, and the Solomon Islands. Waves of more than 3 meters were possible along some coastal areas of Russia and Ecuador.
The United Kingdom has said it will recognize Palestine as a state unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza. As global anger mounts over the war in the Palestinian territory, a statement from British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's office said, "We demand an immediate ceasefire to stop the slaughter, that the UN be allowed to send humanitarian assistance into Gaza on a continual basis to prevent starvation, and the immediate release of the hostage."
Today, as part of this process towards peace, I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution.
The total number of Palestinians killed since Israel launched its military offensive has passed 60,000. The world's leading authority on hunger said the worst-case scenario of famine was unfolding there. Hunger and malnutrition began to spiral after Israel ended a ceasefire with Hamas in March, permitting only a trickle of desperately needed aid into the enclave. Israel has also sought to replace the unrun aid structure with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Backed by the United States and supported by private security contractors, GHF operates 4 distribution sites, compared with a network of hundreds that were in place before.
China rolled out on Monday an annual child care subsidy of 3,600 yuan until age 3, as authorities look to spur a fledgling birth rate with fewer young people choosing to have children. The high cost of child care and education, as well as job uncertainty and a slowing economy, are among the concerns that have discouraged many young Chinese from getting married and starting a family. Demographers and economists said that, while the move was positive, the amount was likely too small to incentivize people to have children.
Subsidies will start from this year, with partial subsidies for children under 3 born before 2025, in a policy expected to benefit more than 20 million families with toddlers and infants. The plan is described as an important national livelihood policy, and direct cash subsidies aim to reduce the cost of childbirth and parenting. China's population declined for a third consecutive year in 2024, with experts warning of a worsening demographic downturn following decades of falling birth rates after the one-child policy, which was in place from 1980 to 2015, and rapid urbanization. In the past 2 years, provinces across the country have begun distributing childcare subsidies in varying amounts, including housing subsidies.
Google has admitted its earthquake early warning system failed to accurately alert people during Turkey's deadly quake of 2023. 10 million people within 98 miles of the epicenter could have been sent Google's highest level alert, giving up to 35 seconds of warning to find safety. Instead, only 469 take-action warnings were sent out for the first 7.8 magnitude quake. Google said 500,000 people were sent a lower-level warning, which is designed for light shaking and does not alert users in the same prominent way.
The system works on Android devices, which make up more than 70% of the phones in Turkey. More than 55,000 people died when 2 major earthquakes hit Turkey on the 6th of February 2023, and more than 100,000 were injured. Many were asleep in buildings that collapsed around them when the tremors hit. Google's early warning system was in place and live on the day of the quakes. However, it underestimated how strong the earthquakes were. Google's system, named Android Earthquake Alerts, AEA, is able to detect shaking from a vast number of mobile phones that use the Android operating system. Because earthquakes move relatively slowly through the earth, a warning can then be sent out.
U.S. Senator Ciara, known for R&B and pop hits such as Goodies and Want to Step, has become one of the first public figures to be granted citizen of Benin under a new law offering nationality to the descendants of slaves. The Grammy Award winner said she was honored, thanking Benin for opening its arms and heart to her. The citizenship scheme is part of an initiative by the small West African country to build ties with the African diaspora and boost cultural tourism.
She officially became a citizen at a ceremony in the city of Cotonou. The government said in a statement, "This act, which is symbolic, humane, and historic, is not merely an administrative gesture. It is a gesture of the soul, a return to one's roots, a hand extended to those whom history, in its brutality, had torn from this land." By enacting the My Afro Origins Law last year, Benin joined countries like Ghana and Guinea-Bissau in offering citizenship to people with an African ancestor who was taken from their homeland as part of the transatlantic slave trade. Benin's coastline is part of what was once known as the Slave Coast, a major departure point for enslaved Africans shipped across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas.
The answer for yesterday was C, ceasefire. The two sides agreed to a ceasefire after months of conflict. Did you answer correctly? Now let's dive into today's news. Powerful earthquake off Russia triggers tsunami. Number 1. Tsunami, 海啸. A powerful tsunami struck the coastal village after the earthquake. Number 2. Magnitude, 规模，大小. The earthquake had a magnitude of 7.5 on the Richter scale. Number 3. Low-lying, 低洼的. Many low-lying areas near the river are at risk of flooding during heavy rains. Next, we have a multiple-choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. The first World Ranger Day took place in 2007. The date represented the 15th anniversary of when the International Ranger Federation was founded. It was founded when the ANPR, Ciara, and the CMA, which represented rangers in Wales and England, got together and signed a joint agreement. And that's all for today's FUNDAY news. Be sure to tune into FUNDAY news from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Jasmine, your host. I'll see you next time.